he's got to have a moment here where he makes plays in the passing game, I think, to beat Kansas City. Let's bring Fox 29's Garry Cobb in. Garry, I mean, and to the fairness, and again, I want to make so that the Eagle defense in that NFC title game was a dynamic force. Why they're in the Super Bowl, but don't you think Jalen's going to have to make plays in the Super Bowl? They're going to have to be more balanced in that Super Bowl to beat Kansas City if they want to take home the Lombardi Trophy. Am I wrong or right?
I think so. I think there's an outside chance, they could be dominant, with their ground game and the defense playing well. But they need a passing game. I mean, they really didn't have one because they knocked out the two quarterbacks. They could have had one of us playing quarterback for them. I mean, they didn't need it. But with Mahomes over there, he's going to generate offense. They're going to score some points. I mean, Kansas City is going to score some points. So, they're going to have to throw the ball. I think that you can be confident the Eagles are going to have a running game. But they need a passing game, too, to take advantage of all these opportunities. I mean, really, he missed A.J., in the game against the 49ers. He had 6. Just lay it up there, put some air under that ball, and that's a touchdown. And then, when you hit them like that, then everybody's, start wrapping up their stuff. They're heading for the exits because they were running the ball. They couldn't stop them from running the ball. They went totally run, and they still couldn't stop them. So, if you sprinkle in a passing game, the defense is done, But they didn't have a passing game. They just ran the ball exclusively against the Niners, which is an indictment of them because, how many times have I seen guys running up the middle untouched for touchdowns? But they didn't have a passing game. They're not going to be able to do that against Kansas City.
How about this, Garry?
Jalen's got to get it going.
Let me throw this at you, too. I said this about Jonathan Gannon. I don't think I know Ayuk from the 49ers said that the defense was a little overrated. I'm going to make this point to you, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. I don't think the defense is overrated. I think the coordinator's overrated, and I'll tell you why. He's not doing anything different than he did from a year ago to today, and to me, he's just got better players. I mean, there's nothing different than what that guy has done, and every time he's played these high-percentage quarterbacks, like Dak went for 77.1 completion percentage. I mean, he has struggled. So is that a fair statement that I think the defense got better players on it than it did a year ago?
I mean, really, I don't want to get the Eagles, too hyped up about the Eagles, but they are strong. I mean, you could really maybe look at their linebackers and say, well, they're not great. But every other area, you not only say they're good, you could say they're great. I mean, look at the defensive line. I mean, how many sacks do they have to get? Nobody's been able to consistently block them. Now, of course, people have run the ball on them some, but that hasn't been consistent. And, since they got those big guys in there and, in the secondary, they got an outstanding secondary. So, and they have won with all those different areas. I mean, there have been times where the defensive backs have just basically won the game. Then you've had the defensive line do it. So they have an exceptional talent to have all those guys, and they've got depth too. So they should be able to, if they come out and play the way they're capable, they I think are the best team in the NFL this year.
Absolutely, Garry. I completely agree, Garry. But wouldn't you say it's more when you see a guy like Andy Reid and you have Patrick Mahomes? Take a look at the guys that this Eagle defense has played against: David Mills, Tyler Heineke, Cooper Rush. I mean, Gannon's philosophy is this. I believe in a 10-play drive. Let's say it's 10 plays. One of those guys is going to make a mistake somewhere. There's going to be a 3-and-out somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But that's why when you get with a guy like Reid and Mahomes, that's where you get in trouble because those guys know how to move the chains. Are you concerned about Reid versus Gannon going into this game?
I'm concerned about that because I do think that, Andy and with Mahomes, because, Andy's going to draw stuff up. Mahomes is going to take it to another level with the fact that he's going to ad-lib some stuff too. So he can make plays, and both of them. That definitely is something to think about. And that's why offensively, they got to put the ball in the end zone. They need to have drives where they're eating up time, but they got to put the ball in the end zone. Eating up time is not good enough if you're not scoring points. And I'm talking about touchdowns. I'm not talking about field goals. I'm talking about marching down there and putting that ball in the end zone. That's what you got to do against a guy like Mahomes. And really, honestly, the thing that concerns me is, you see a guy like Mahomes, and you say, "Doggone it! If it's 2 minutes left and you let him have the ball and you're only up by 6, you're basically putting him in a position, to score and let everybody go off into the sunset, and the balloons are going off. Everybody's up. No, we don't want that. We do not want him with the ball with a chance to win the game. We want that game already decided. We don't want Mahomes with the ball. The Eagles have got a good defense and everything, but Mahomes, he's the best quarterback in the league. I don't think it's really much a debate right now, because for them to beat Cincinnati, they shouldn't have beat Cincinnati. I was looking at the game, thought Cincinnati's going to win this game. Now Mahomes, he made a couple of plays where you're going like, how did he do that?
Right.
But he can work. He can work his magic, and he can take over a game. You know that he can do that, and so they don't want to leave it up to Mahomes. And I look at Kansas City. I see they got 3 players really that are like that, which is, you got Kelsey. Dude gets open all the time. Oh my goodness, where did you get this guy from? And he's a special player. And then you got Chris Jones on the defense. Those 3, they could beat the Eagles now, because Jones can act up. I mean, the guy is a tremendous combination of quickness and speed. Probably more quickness than his speed. He's not really, straight ahead fast, but he's quick inside there, and he's got the long arms and everything. Just the kind of thing where, and then they're moving him around because he's a matchup. You got to know where he's lined up all the time, all that stuff. So those 3 guys are the ones that you're concerned about, and they're special. They're all 3 are special players.
Garry, are you concerned? Is it too inviting to see 2 rookie corners and to maybe try to get out of like your physicality, running the ball, establishing? Because if I come to the line of scrimmage and I see Chris Jones in the D line, and I'm like, man, I'm basically banging my head against the wall here a little bit. Not saying that I don't think Kelsey and Sayamalu can handle him, but what I'm thinking to myself, man, I got 2 1,000-yard receivers.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's Spagnuolo, who I think is one of the better DCs in the NFL. Yeah. Garry, that's got to be enticing for the offense to want to try to at least challenge those corners.
They got to do it. That's why this has got to be a game where they're going to need some of that. I don't see them winning this game just solely with just a ground attack. They need a passing attack. They need to be able to throw the ball like they did earlier in the season, because they are going to get opportunities, just like they had opportunities against the Niners. Only they gotta connect on them. They gotta go ahead and cash out. You can't be missing people, and so hopefully, Jalen has gotten enough work where they've been able to work together. Because I understand where if you're not working, if a guy's on the shelf and then you're not doing it consistently. Before, hey, they're doing it every other day. They're out there throwing the ball, man. They get a lot of work together, because you do need that to get in sync. But they need to be in sync, because there are going to be opportunities. They need to cash into it, because they do not want this game going down to the wire. Look, I might just get up and leave if it's late in the game and doggone it, Mahomes got the ball. I'm going, no, I do not like this. As kids, we used to see the movie on TV. You knew the bad guy was winning the whole game or the whole movie. The bad guy is winning. But
during our time, Garry, if Montana got the ball with 1:30, you're sitting here going, Jesus, man. With Jerry Rice, come on, man.
You're done. You just saying, like I said, like the kid looking at the movies when Superman, come on. Superman is going to win. Come on, this is his movie. And that's the way it is with Mahomes. That's why we do not want Mahomes anywhere near the field with them with a chance to come back and win. That means the Eagles have blown opportunities. They didn't play at the level they're capable of. That means they probably had times where Jalen missed some open receivers or something, or they turned the ball over with something stupid that they played down to their level. If they play the way they're capable of playing, the game will be over.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you let it with Mahomes, I'm telling you, we don't want to see that.
Gary, I see a 31-17 Eagle game. However, like I said, I mean, Mahomes versus Gannon. I'm sorry.
Come on.
The talent's better.
Yeah.
And he's one of the greatest head coaching play callers of all time. Mm-hmm. And you got one of the great generational players of all time. Actually, you've got two generational players.
That's right.
In Kelce and in Mahomes.
They're Hall of Famers already.
How many times have you seen those guys throw themselves out of trouble?
I'm telling you. Come on. I've been looking at these guys' games. Oh, man. You're saying to the TV, hey, would you guys guard Kelce? I mean, they're down by the goal line. You're going, you're kidding me? They left Kelce open? I mean, what are you doing? You don't know how it happens. I mean, I've seen where he fakes a block like he's blocking the defensive end. Everybody leaves. What are you doing? They're throwing the ball to Kelce. Hey, bloop. He walks into the end zone. You go, I can't believe this. Do you never see their games? Guard Kelce, please. And, they've been doing this. So, and then, you get into a game with great players. Sometimes you get in there and you realize the trouble everybody else is having, You don't realize it until you get in there playing them. But they've done it enough times to where it's not as simple as just go in there and do this. So I figured they're going to have some problems with him. They need Jalen he needs to have a big game. You got confidence. The running game's going to be there. Will the passing attack be there? They've got guys. These guys can get open. They need to get it going early. I would, Shane Steichen, he needs to get him in a groove early because you need to be able to do both. And then if they get both of them going, I think they can win comfortably.
But I do too.
They got to play better than they did.
Not brought up a lot, Gary, but say they win the Super Bowl here. Big conversation's always about Jalen getting his contract and getting his money.
Uh-huh.
Would you, going into a third year with 2 years remaining on a contract, I believe he signed a 5-year contract at around $6 to $7 million. Would you think of adding another year to Nick Sirianni's contract if Nick Sirianni wins the Super Bowl? Would you address that? Would you not address it? I mean he's still got some years on it. He's still got a couple years, but he'll be going into his third year, having won the Super Bowl in his second year.
Yeah.
Would you think about adding that?
Well, if they win the Super Bowl, I definitely would consider that. I mean, that's a gesture where you're saying, hey, you did a great job. I mean, they win the Super Bowl. I mean, come on. The guy comes up. He's already won the Super Bowl. I could see something like, as a gesture, say, hey, that's the way we do around here. People produce. We take care of you. And so, I could see.
The reason I say this is because Sean Payton just signed a contract for $18 million.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I mean, okay, he's the highest paid player next to Russell Wilson on the Denver Broncos. I mean, he's got a Super Bowl, and so if he ends up getting a Super Bowl, wouldn't you do it in good? I mean, they extended Doug. That's what Yale's just said to me. He goes, they extended him, but I mean, just for job well done. Here's an extra year.
That's right. I think that's fitting. I think he's done a tremendous job. They really have, utilized the talent, and they've done a great job. I mean, they haven't been perfect, but they have done a great job. There's a great, I like the whole flow and the feel around the team. They're focused on football, but it's not heavy. It's light. It's we expect to do well, but we're pushing them, but they're still pushing guys, So it's a hey, they got a good atmosphere with good attitude. Guys that want to win, guys that want to do what they got to do to win. Meaning, like, this is what I got to do to win? We want to win. We got to be out here all day. We got to go into the meeting room and be in there for another 2 hours. What do we need to do to win? So they got that kind of attitude. And Jalen is, of course, a good pusher of it. But you got to give Nick credit. And these guys like playing for Nick.
Yep.
However he does it, you can say whatever you want. The guys like playing for him. They play hard for him. That's what you want out of your coach. And so I could see definitely taking care of him because of that, because that is what it's all about. And I hope that, they go ahead and accomplish what they want to do. And,
maybe they add a year. Maybe they add a year to Howie.
They could do that. I think Howie deserves it too. Come on, he's been the key guy in here, man. Howie's done an amazing
2 titles
job.
in 5 years.
The guy's done an amazing job. Say what you want. I mean, he has stacked this. Come on. I mean, I would probably say even I wouldn't want to cut Nick off and say that Howie's been more Howie but Howie's done a tremendous job. This team is stacked. Now fittingly, all this stuff, despite all that's been done, is going to come down to the guy we've talked about all year, and he's still up there. He's the guy, Jalen. Jalen, he got to finish with a great performance, and then they can ride off into the sunset. But they need a passing game. They got to have a passing game this week, and so if if
they're not balanced, they'll lose.
Yeah, because Mahomes, I'm telling you, we don't want the drama at the end. So don't let it be close. Because like I said, I'm going to walk out of the stadium,
Yeah. Garry, thank you so much, my friend. Should be a great Sunday. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You got it. Garry Cobb, please hit the like button